guys, welcome back to Book Talk. So it's been a couple weeks. I apologize with the holidays and everything. I took a couple weeks off, but it's good to be back. Good to talk about some new books. So this week's book, is in the Ruby Redford series. It's called Catch Your Death. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard of that series. I don't think I've talked about it, but I think you can see it right here. I've got about 5 out of the 6 books in that series. If you haven't heard of the Ruby Redford series, I highly recommend it. It's awesome. This is the 3rd book, I believe. Let me double check that. Yes. 3rd book in the series. So the premise is it's about a girl in the 1970s. I think she's about 13, and she's supposed to be this super smart spy, code-cracking genius child. And each book is about her adventures with the company she works for, Spectrum. And it's just her being a genius code-cracking spy. It's really fun. So this one was called Catch Your Death. It is kind of fairly thick. Just gave you a picture there. But it was, I think I read it in 2 days. They're really great stories, and they move really well, so they're really good to read if you only have, a weekend, but you really want to have a good book to get in. This is a great option. So I would highly recommend this book. Like I said, it is one of my favorite series, so that helps with the recommendation. But the characters are super well written. The storyline is great. It moves at a good pace, but it's not just all action. Some books I feel like they're all action books, so there's no plot. It's just action point after action point. This one actually has a plot. It actually develops the story. It does have a fair amount of foreshadowing. I feel like once you kind of get the pattern that the author uses down, then you kind of can guess what's coming. But she does it in a way where you have an idea, but you don't exactly know for sure what's going to happen, which is kind of nice. I like that. Helps me solve the mystery a little bit quicker as well. So this one involved... hang on, before you spoil that, let me clarify. So the author who wrote this is insanely smart, and so in every book she uses a different sense to have a code. So for example, in the first book, it was super simple. It was a written code, okay? In the second book, she had audio code. So she had to figure out a code that was overlapping audios and so forth. So in this one, she uses scent, which was so cool because the author came up with a way to take smells, turn them into letters via their chemical coding. It was so cool. I love this series too because I learned so much. So in this one, I learned about benzoin rings and how smell affects your brain and how that works and how to turn that into an alphabet for codes that villains would use. It was so cool. Blew me away. So again, that was Catch Your Death. It was by Lauren Child, and it's in the Ruby Redford series. It's book 3. Definitely check this out. I personally don't think you have to start at the first book. When I first started this series, I started with the 5th one, then read the last one, and then went back and started with the first one. So they're pretty self-explanatory. There's not a lot of background you need to know. They explain everything. But if you want to start with the first one, that would be... it's called Look Into My Eyes by Lauren Child. They're not numbered, so you do have to kind of Google the list and then go through it from there. But either way, super highly recommend it. The only clarification that I would recommend, no matter where you start the series, is just knowing this series takes place in the 1970s. Okay, I didn't know that until the 5th book when she quotes oh yeah, the date is, 1979. And I was oh, that explains a lot. I didn't know that. That is the only clarifying thing I think you need to know. Alright, so again, that was Catch Your Death, Lauren Child. Definitely check that out, and let me know what you think in the comments. I'd highly recommend it. I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, hit me up for some book recommendations. What books would you like to see me review? And I hope you have a great week.